providing direct delivery to all the residents and businesses in that area. So the post office is trying to resolve the issue without installing another full cluster box.
Those are my two favorite mailboxes with the cement post and a 5-gallon jug sitting there on the northbound lane. Or are they gone?
They're gone. They're all gone.
All right.
Yeah, all the single boxes and buckets are gone. Then there's, we almost finished. There's 2 more cluster boxes are needed between Gill Avenue and Shiloh Avenue on the 1100 block. So once those additional boxes are installed, all residents on Main Street will be receiving direct mail delivery. And I can stop talking about cluster boxes. Our commercial and residential projects are moving forward. We are currently working on several different site plans and business prospects. So the new Dollar General had a soft opening yesterday, and actually went there last night, and the cashier is somebody who lives on Main Street. So it's a young man that actually lives in town. A business that will be building a new facility in town held a pre-submittal meeting virtually last week with the county's Bureau of Development Review and town staff. We will release more information as it becomes public. Lieutenant Gagler and Tom Devilis, Jim and I attended another meeting with the new property management company for North Carroll High School. Well, the North Carroll High School and property. For our finance department, Cheryl continues to work through issues with our new payroll system. We will be switching to another system in April. We will also be switching to our new finance system, Edmunds, in April also. So before we go live, all the staff will need to attend 2 days of training. We're going to try to make sure it's not 2 consecutive days, but 2 days of training, and then we will need to close town office for these 2 days. So for human resources, Judy is continuing to update the personnel policy. So it was on the agenda for Chapter 13, so that's going to be postponed for next month about leave and attendance. And most of the things for that chapter basically are policy, they just weren't in writing. For Public Works, our water appropriation permit was approved and is good for 6 years. Well, number 36 has been brought online, is connected to our newest pump house, number 17, at the rear of 1960 Upper Ford Lane. And I'm sad to say that Jared has accepted another opportunity and will be leaving town employment within the next month. We do wish him well. So we will be looking for 2 Public Works employees, 1 to replace Jared and 1 to replace Mike when he retires later this year. And Jim, the chief, and I attended the Hampstead Day meeting last month. The next meeting will be in March, and Hampstead Day is planned for Saturday, May 21st. Lieutenant Gagler, Jim, and I attended the Hampstead Merchants Association General Meeting and Membership Drive at the American Legion Post 200 on January 13th. It was very well attended, and there were several new businesses present to introduce themselves to the members. The HMA will be holding their annual Biz Bowl bowling on March 12th at Green Mountain Bowl. Christina is overseeing our new website design. The contract with our vendor Gov Office was completed last week. The redesign involves 2 components, design and content. So phase 1, the design phase, will begin shortly with the vendor using town supplied arts and photos along with a new layout to create the new look. Phase 2, the content phase, will take place after design and will include all the content we would like to carry over from our existing website, along with anything else we'd like to add. One of the key features of the new website will be the addition of smart forms. Residents will have the ability to complete a form online and submit it electronically to the town. Christina is currently reviewing the existing website and editing the content as necessary. And I guess you would call it real estate agents or real estate companies that want to do a settlement, a final read, have been asking for years for us to have those kind of forms. So it'll be nice to have those online. It'll cut down a lot of our phone calls too. Commissioner Weaver's hosting a town hall meeting at North Carroll High School on Monday, February 21st. He's hosting the event primarily to introduce the community to the new owners of the former North Carroll High School property and to provide an opportunity to participate in a question and answer session regarding the facility. All interested residents are encouraged to attend.
Got a time for that?
6:30.
6:30. Thank you.
So the representative for Blue Ocean was here last month or the month? Yeah, last month, January. So, all right, oversights, Diane.
Okay, the Hampstead Farmers Market Advisory Team met last night, February 7th. So far, about 10 of our vendors from prior seasons have submitted their applications to renew for the 2022 season. We have also received applications for a few prospective new vendors, which we are reviewing. The market will be accepting vendor applications through April 1st with a season fee of $136, which equals $8 per week for 17 weeks. There is an additional flat surcharge for the season of either $45 or $90 for vendors who need larger spaces. Our returning sponsors so far are Quantum Internet Service, Shiloh Pottery, Pipe the Side Brewing Company, and Tevis Energy. We have one brand new sponsor so far, and that is Fuchs North America, right across the street from the market. Last year we had 18 business sponsors, and this year Keith's goal is 30 sponsors. So for a $250 sponsorship, your business will become part of our growing family of farmers market participants, and you'll gain lots of exposure to the community to help your business grow as well.
That's a hefty increase. I wish them well. So, all right, Wayne.
There's some stuff out there. The Hampstead Train Station Committee is working on music in the park. So far, we've booked 2 bands. And we're also looking for sponsors. And the Tree Commission is working on their spring planting plans. So
When are your concerts?
first one starts June 11th. They're going to be the 2nd and the 4th Saturdays of the month, June, July, August, and September.
Who are your 2?
Hickory Wind's going to be the first one. And I have a tentative for Bootleg.
Cool. Is somebody doing Debs?
I am.
Okay.
My turn? No. For the Planning and Zoning, the Hampstead Planning and Zoning Commission met on Wednesday, January 26th. And the only requested approval on the agenda was a new sign for the fire department. The proposed sign would replace the variable message sign with a newer variable message board with newer technology. The current board's outdated and relies on Windows 7, which if anybody knows, I think we're at a Windows 11 right now. So it's no longer a supported software. The new board would be located in the same position in the existing monument structure. The new display will be color, but will not have any moving displays or animations. And additionally, the crown of the monument will be internally lit, which it was supposed to be internally lit, so they'll just fix the lights. And then it'll be displaying, which will be displaying the Hampstead Fire Department logo. The logo on the crown had been lit this way years ago, but the sun had faded the image and the internal lighting function has failed. The request for the new signage was approved. So it's the actual screen will be a little bigger, but it will not be bigger than the monument sign. It just won't have the border around it like the sign does now, which fire departments are allowed to have that type of signage as long as it doesn't move. And then Chapter 10 of the Comprehensive Plan Update, Environmental Protection and Resource Conservation, was given to the Commission for the review, and we will discuss the chapter at the February Planning and Zoning meeting. So on the side note, Jim and I will be meeting with Linda Eisenberg and other Carroll County Department of Planning staff next Thursday to discuss the county providing the maps and charts for the plan as they have done in the past. The county update talked about the projects the Department of Planning is working on. Applications for the spring amendment to the 2019 Carroll County Water and Sewer Master Plan are now being accepted and will go through the month of February. Additionally, planning is beginning the process for the triennial update to the 2019 Carroll County Water and Sewer Master Plan. It's also the time of year that the Department of Planning is compiling information for the 2021 Carroll County Annual Planning Report, which is submitted to the Maryland Department of Planning. So the Maryland Department of Planning requests each municipality provide an annual report, which we do through the county. We have submitted our information to the county and the commissioners, and it will be who will approve the Hampstead information in the annual report when they receive the draft report in April or May. And that's it.
That's it. Thank you. Dave?
On the War Memorial Park, we have an update on that. The renovation, last month the tree was taken out. That was the large tree that was dying between Matthews Tire and the old bandstand that's coming down. So that was removed last month. No problems with that. And then right now the bandstand is actually, the engineering is finished for it from the manufacturer. We chose the colors. That's going to be the wood stain for the actual unit is going to be a pine. And then the roof on the top is going to be stained like a hunter green. The manufacturing process will begin now, and we'll have more updates on the next meeting.
Did I hear that tree was dead in the middle, like hollow?
A picture of that.
He's got a picture.
About 6 or 8 feet up.
Holy crap. I don't know if the camera can see that, but that tree was how, 80 feet high? I'm glad we decided to take it down, given what we found. So, and finally Ben.
For the water. All right, so for January this year, our average water usage was 338,000 gallons per day. February so far, we are at 341,000 gallons per day. Rainfall in January was 2.54 inches, and February so far we're at 0.98 inches. As Tammy said, we received the appropriation permits, and no changes were made to the withdrawal allocation of 630,000 gallons per day. So,
All right. Chief Snyder.
During the month of January, we investigated 8 traffic accidents. 1 was reportable. 7 were minor property damage only, and 1 of the crashes took place at the 482 circle. Speed signs were placed at 7 locations for a total of 59 days of display. Traffic enforcement included 33 selective enforcements conducted over just under 15 hours worth of activity. 5 citations and 16 warnings were issued during those selective enforcements. Overall, 23 citations and 91 warnings were issued. Patrol checks included 410 property checks, that's businesses and schools. Serious crime included 1 DUI, 1 firearms possession violation, and 1 possession of CDS. One adult was taken into custody for DUI. With reference to training, 152 hours of training were completed. Some of the topics included safe law enforcement operations in the fireground, crisis intervention training refresher. Matt Bachman successfully completed his basic instructor school. New Case Explorer Generation 3. Essentially what that is, it's a computer program we have access to that most police departments in the state use to just make sure that we're not looking at the same people and we're not crossing paths on investigations. We conducted training on electrical and fire safety, street survival seminar, classes on inclusive policing, violent extremism, introduction to hate crimes. Ms. Geiger completed a computer skills for the workplace course as well as an A to Z grant writing course. Community events included Roberts Field, the HOA, we attend that on a monthly basis. And we also had, I believe it was 2 Fridays ago, Cub Scout tour of the police station. An extremely large Cub Scout group came through. And during the course of the actual Cub Scout tour, I was finally stumped in my explanations for a lot of things that we did. We showed them our holding facility, and for whatever reason, jail facilities everywhere seem to have a large metal ring that you keep the keys for the actual lockup one. And I don't know how many lockup facilities I've been in my career, and they all have that. One of the Cub Scouts stopped and he asked me, and he said, well, why do they have these keys on a large metal ring? And the honest truth is, I have no idea. I really don't know. And his reply to me, he said, well, who hires you? And I told him, I said, well, the mayor and the council. And he asked me, he says, well, can you call them at home now and see if they have an answer to that? So if at some point tonight, if anybody figures that out, anybody in the council or the mayor, and you have an idea why these metal rings exist, please let me know, and I'll pass that along to the council.
Tradition. That's
Tradition,
But I
that's
was
it.
stuck.
there's no answer.
Andy Griffith had them. They were on a big ring.
Yeah, I don't know the answer. But other than that, that would be it.
Any update on personnel you want to?
Right now we have 1 candidate who is scheduled to start in the Police Academy on the 28th. He successfully passed his physical fitness test on Saturday.
We smoothed it out down.
We're
Good to
on
go.
that.
Good to hear.
We're ready to go on that. We have 2 other folks that are currently going through the background phase. These people would be laterals. Up to this point, they've made it through the process, but the process hasn't been completed. There's still some other steps. Unfortunately, we do have people that we bring into the process and they don't complete the process, but that's one of the reasons why we have the background and the different steps that we go through. We're still accepting applications.
Continually.
Continually.
Out there, continually. If you're interested in law enforcement, we have a very good chief and a very supportive town. So feel free. Thanks. Any other questions for the chief?
What do you have that big ring?
So I guess a few miscellaneous things that are going on. We mentioned the firefighters who passed away in Baltimore, and it was the whole Baltimore City Fire Department was off that day, and it was kind of neat to see that the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Department covered for Hamden down in Baltimore City that day. So that was everybody pitching in, and that was great to see. Just got notice that we're going to have a Carroll County chapter meeting in Manchester, and it's scheduled for March 17th. Just happens to be St. Patty's Day, so I don't know that there'll be green beer there, but that's our next meeting. Maryland Redistricting, Diane said I should say something about this. Very few people, I guess, have heard about it, but we were a part of District 5. That was all of pretty much Carroll County except for portions south of Route 26. Now Hampstead over to Finksburg, as it's currently aligned, is getting carved out of Carroll County and will be 42C, is that the number I heard? A single member district with the state senator in Baltimore County. So we'll be this sort of, I guess, a third of a district, 2/3 of which will be in Baltimore County, is the way it's set up right now. I think the Assembly's passed it. I'm sure it's been appealed. Stay tuned. The following deadline for candidates is February 22nd. We'll see if that gets extended by the appeals court has the authority to extend that date. Given that this is just out there and very few people have heard about it, hopefully that does happen. I've been serving on the MML Legislative Committee. It's been interesting. Every Wednesday at 10 o'clock, we get together and go through the bills that have been introduced that may impact municipalities and you at home. And usually the meetings go for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and we talk about anywhere from 12 to 15 bills. They're still being introduced. I don't know about a record pace. It's an election year. Usually there's less bills introduced in an election year because people just want to get through to the election. And the primary is in the end of June, 4th Tuesday in June, whatever that date is. And I know tomorrow's list includes the Climate Solutions Now Act of 2022, which was passed last year by the Senate. The House didn't take it up because the chairman of their environmental committee didn't agree with Senator Pinsky's idea of what the climate bill should look like. So they're going to do it piecemeal this year, and the Assembly has promised there is going to be a climate solutions bill passed. Now, you can be all about the environment. It's interesting, though, that this bill in Maryland, I think we are about 1% of the energy usage of the entire United States. But this bill, we are requiring Maryland to be net zero statewide for all greenhouse gases by 2045. The UN bill only requires you to be 2050, and it's only considered carbon free. They're not considering all greenhouse gases. So it's definitely an added step. And then I think New York and Massachusetts are at 2050 as well. I think theirs is all greenhouse gases, but we're trying to be the first in the nation. So it's all renewables. I think right now, a graph I saw that all our energy renewables is 6% of our production. So things are going to have to change drastically in order for for us to meet these targets. And they don't become targets if this bill is passed; they become law. So it'll be interesting to see. I know we'll have the meeting tomorrow, and it's an interesting group of folks that we have a very representative cross section of Maryland that's on this committee. But it'll be interesting to see how the committee goes about looking at these bills with the Senate and then the House breaking it down a little separately, but then the House bill still has the same overarching goals. I just find it interesting that you're going to require all this renewable energy, and it's going to require a lot of windmills, it's going to require a lot of solar, and that's fine. But where's that steel produced, and where are those windmill blades produced? They're produced in China, and where's that energy produced? It's produced by coal. So it's just I find that an interesting juxtaposition. But I don't want to get too much on my soapbox. But for those who are interested out there, there's a lot of things that go on in the minutia of government that have big impacts on us down the line and our kids down the line. So that's my editorial for tonight. So we'll go on to new business, and we have the first item is, let's see, leaving attendance, so that's all part of, 1 and 2 were all part of what I said we're gonna pull back?
Well, no, 2 is just a general statement of, typically when we make changes to the personnel policy, we bring it before the town council for approval. But if we just need to change, for example, many things refer to only the town manager, where approvals are obviously going through the town manager and the chief of police. And, any kind of,
So where's that
Formatting.
different from what we got?
that is a chapter that we redid. The second approval is saying if we just make gender neutral language, or if we add the chief of police, correct grammar, or maybe we reformat a chapter without really changing the meaning of the chapter, then we're just asking permission to be able to do those things without having to bring the chapter before the council for approval. Just for, adding the chief of police or changing the
Editing
grammar.
the document to make it gender neutral and adding in the chief of police.
Excuse me?
Okay, so we're good, I'm good with 2, and we'll bring 1 back. All right, so is there a motion for item number 2 that's on the agenda related to the approval to make the following revisions to the personnel policy manual, which are grammatical corrections, general neutral language, and authority related to the chief of police versus town manager?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. And then acceptance of Chanel Court. So, all the houses, how many? 17?
17.
They're all built. We're good with the outfall and everything. Does that come with this?
Yeah, not yet. About a year, we'll get it. So what happens when a stormwater facility is built as part of the housing development? It stays with the developer for 2 years, inspected by the county. After 2 years, then it's turned over to the town.
Okay. So we have that court with 17 houses on it directly off Main Street. It's our turn to accept it. And are you plowing it yet?
Not yet.
So, it would be the first. So they've had private, or the last snow we had, they were like, where are the plows?
No, they've had private contractors in.
Okay. But it's always intended to be a public street. So a motion to accept Chanel Court.
Make a motion to accept Chanel Court.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, and then, as we discussed before the meeting, an introduction and adoption of Resolution 2020-201, which is a resolution to authorize a change to the town zoning map. We approved the change in zoning. This is basically the former high school parcel. We approved the zoning change, but we have to do that also in the form of a resolution, which has been presented to you in 2022-01.
Motion to approve introduction and adoption of resolution 2022-01.
Yeah, get them all right. There's
Second.
a second. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? A short agenda, but important. Are there public comments? We're all good? Going once, twice, Doug, 3 times? All right. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All those, excuse me, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And thank you to Comcast Channel 23, and you can always view that on Channel 23 or live stream it, facebook.com, Carroll Media Center. Thank you all.